Antarctica. A frozen wasteland at the bottom of the Earth, or at least that's what we've been told. But beneath the endless white lies something far more complex. Secrets buried under miles of ice. Secrets powerful enough to rewrite history, shake religions, and challenge everything we know about civilization. Why is this the only continent where the world's superpowers cooperate in silence? Why is access restricted? Why are there military patrols in a place where supposedly there's nothing? Today we're diving into the most forbidden place on Earth. Get ready, because what you're about to hear may change the way you see the world. The Antarctic Treaty. Why is it really closed off? In 1959, during the peak of the Cold War, 12 nations signed the Antarctic Treaty. Among them, the US, the Soviet Union, the UK, Norway, Argentina. It banned military activity, mining, and permanent settlement. Since then, over 50 countries have agreed to keep Antarctica untouched. But here's the catch: you're not allowed to explore it freely. Private expeditions, walked, aerial flyovers, heavily restricted. Certain zones, completely off limits. Even scientists need special clearance and are constantly monitored. Why such strict control over what's supposedly just ice? And more importantly, how is it possible that rival countries, enemies even, all agree without question to stay silent about what lies beneath? Operation Highjump. What did they find? In 1946, just a year after World War II ended, the US Navy launched Operation Highjump. The official reason? Cold weather training. But the mission involved 4,700 troops, 13 ships, aircraft carriers, submarines, helicopters. That's more than a typical war deployment. All sent to Antarctica. The expedition was led by Admiral Richard Byrd. And here's where it gets strange. After just a few weeks, the mission was abruptly shut down. The official excuse? Extreme weather. But whispers from within the Navy told a different story. That they had encountered something or someone that forced them to retreat. Admiral Byrd allegedly reported seeing flying craft that could move at impossible speeds. And then silence. No more interviews. No more reports. Just silence. Documents were classified. Questions were never answered. What did they encounter in the ice? Structures under the ice. Google Earth mysteries. In recent years, researchers and conspiracy theorists have analyzed satellite imagery of Antarctica. What they found was disturbing. Massive circular shapes, perfectly symmetrical. Doorway-like entrances carved into mountains. A pyramid-like structure with smooth faces and geometric precision, just like Giza. And then there's Lake Vostok, buried under 4 kilometers of ice. Officially, it's just a subglacial lake. But in 2012, a Russian expedition allegedly made contact with something beneath the ice. The story goes, they drilled down, discovered a structure, and were immediately called back. The findings? Never released. Even Google Earth has started blurring out certain areas. Images that once showed strange patterns are now pixelated or missing. But if it's just ice, what are they hiding? Atlantis? Ancient civilizations? Or something else? Some believe Antarctica isn't just a frozen continent. It might be Atlantis, the legendary lost city. Sounds crazy? Let's take a look. The 1513 Piri Reis map, drawn using ancient sources, shows Antarctica without ice. How could that be when modern science only mapped it in the 20th century? Geological studies show that 12,000 years ago, Antarctica had a tropical climate. Lush forests, rivers. Life. Something happened, maybe a natural disaster or maybe something engineered, and the entire land froze overnight. Beneath that ice, some believe, lie ancient cities. Not human cities. Or at least not entirely. Reports mention metallic ruins, impossible architecture, and even humanoid figures frozen in ice. Could it be that an ancient race, human or alien, once lived there? And we're only just beginning to uncover the truth? If it's real, why hide it? Let's say for a moment all of this is true, the lost cities, the artifacts, the unknown technology. Why hide it? Because if the world knew that humans aren't the first advanced civilization, that history is incomplete, that non-human intelligence may have shaped our evolution, then religions collapse, political systems break, global powers lose control. The truth wouldn't just set us free, it would set fire to everything we've ever believed in. That's why Antarctica remains silent. The Antarctic wall, could it be hiding the edge of the world? We've talked about treaties. We've talked about lost cities. But there's another theory, far more controversial. A theory that mainstream science ridicules and governments fear. What if Antarctica is not a continent, but a wall? That's right. Some believe Antarctica isn't just the southernmost part of our planet, but the very edge of it. Let me explain. According to official science, Earth is a globe. Antarctica is at the bottom, a frozen landmass surrounded by ocean. But ancient maps and early sailor accounts tell a different story. In many old maritime logs from the 1700s and 1800s, sailors describe hitting massive ice cliffs, extending as far as the eye could see. These weren't shores, they were walls. Ice walls over 40 meters tall surrounding the seas in a perfect circle. Could it be that Antarctica is not a continent but a boundary? Historical clues. The Bedford Level experiment, conducted in 1838 in England, attempted to prove Earth's curvature. But the results? Flat water over 6 miles. Modern science says refraction. But the results were repeated several times with similar outcomes. Now apply that thinking to Antarctica. If Earth is not a sphere, Antarctica's role becomes suspicious. Why is it the only continent that fully encircles the Earth's oceans? Why is it the only landmass that's never fully mapped? Satellite data censorship. If you open Google Earth, zoom into Antarctica, you'll see large chunks blurred, pixelated, or completely white. Even satellite coverage, which maps forests in Africa in high detail, goes silent over Antarctica. And the South Pole? Just a white void. But what's being hidden? Some insiders claim that beyond the visible part of Antarctica lies a massive ice ring, possibly hundreds of kilometers thick. And behind that ring, no one knows. Or maybe someone knows and they don't want you to. Let's think critically. Let's say hypothetically that Antarctica is a barrier, a ring that keeps us inside. What if space is not out there, but part of a dome, a controlled layer above us? In this model, Antarctica becomes the final frontier. Not the beginning of endless ice, but the limit of our known reality. Sounds insane? Maybe. But if it were true, would we be allowed to know? So ask yourself, why can't you go to Antarctica freely? Why is it so important that you don't look too far? Maybe the real secret isn't what lies beneath the ice, but what lies beyond it. Antarctica and the alien base of Neuschwabenland. Antarctica, a continent of ice, secrecy, and silence. But hidden beneath its frozen surface may lie a story even stranger than lost civilizations or ancient pyramids. A story that begins not in science, but in Nazi Germany. What is Neuschwabenland? In 1938, Nazi Germany launched a secret expedition to Antarctica. Its goal? Not just exploration but claiming territory. The region they focused on was called Queen Maud Land. But the Nazis renamed it Neuschwabenland or New Swabia. They sent a ship called the Schwabenland, equipped with planes that dropped metal swastika markers across the region. Hundreds of photos were taken, maps were created, and rumors say underground ice caves were discovered. The hidden base theory. According to conspiracy researchers, the Nazis didn't stop at mapping the land. They began building an underground base, hidden inside vast subglacial tunnels and warm water caverns beneath the ice. But because satellites show that some areas in Antarctica have geothermal heat sources, these create vast cave systems where temperatures are above freezing, even under miles of ice. Perfect conditions for a secret installation. This base allegedly became known as Base 211. The alien connection, but here's where things get really bizarre. Some believe that the Nazis encountered non-human entities beneath the ice, and that those beings, extraterrestrial or ancient, shared technology with them. After the war, dozens of high-ranking Nazi scientists disappeared. Some fled to South America, but others may have gone even further south, into the ice. According to these theories, Nazi scientists continued their experiments in isolation. And perhaps even today the base exists, operated by unknown forces. Operation Highjump revisited in 1946. The United States launched Operation Highjump, the largest Antarctic military expedition in history. Officially it was for training, but unofficially, some say the US was trying to locate and destroy Base 211. Admiral Byrd's strange statements about flying discs and advanced craft fit right into this theory. Did he see the remains of Nazi technology? Or was it something even more advanced? Thinking deeper, why would a regime at war invest in the most remote place on Earth? What did they find or expect to find in Antarctica? More importantly, why do modern maps still list Neuschwabenland? Why is this name still used in scientific databases, long after the fall of the Nazis? And why is the area still closed to all private visitors? Thoughts. Antarctica may hold many secrets, but Neuschwabenland stands apart, a piece of history wrapped in myth and buried in ice. Did the Nazis truly build a base there? Did they encounter something non-human? Or is this all just a cover story for something even more unbelievable? You decide. Leave a comment with your theory. And if you want to hear what may still be happening under the ice today, make sure to subscribe. Because the deeper you dig in Antarctica, the more truth you're not supposed to find. Antarctica, a land of silence, secrets, and shadows beneath the ice. From hidden treaties and lost civilizations, to alien bases and forbidden maps, one thing is clear. We're not being told the full story. But the real question is, why? And more importantly, what happens next? Was this just the surface of the mystery? Or do you want us to go even deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What theory shocked you the most? And what do you believe is hidden in Antarctica? If you want part 2, let us know below. We'll explore the mysteries you suggest, the questions you ask, and the stories they don't want you to hear. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because here, we don't just uncover the truth, we dig until they can't hide it anymore.